to the first slide in case that comes up. All right, here we go. All right, can everyone see my screen? Can you see it? Okay, great, 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 great. All right. So today we're going to talk about something I'm super passionate about. I love, love, love helping authors through the self-publishing process. So I just named this session Amazon KDP 101, How to Upload and Publish Your Book with Amazon KDP. Today we'll go over all the things you have to prepare for your upload, what files you need, what information to gather, and then I will guide you through a real life example. So we'll actually go into KDP and then I'll upload a book with you and you can follow along. I am Susi Clark. I'm the owner of Creative Blueprint Design. I work with authors on cover design, interior formatting, ebooks, self-publishing assistance. I also help authors or other companies with logo design and marketing materials, whether that's for events, for your first book event or things like that, or for the imprint logo that you want on your spine. I have a bachelor's degree in graphic design, and I have over 20 years of experience in design and publishing. I worked for a large multi-million dollar financial publishing company for over 13 years as the art director and led a team of designers there as well. And then in 2011, that company also acquired a bookstore, so we got into book publishing at that point as well. I started my company, Creative Blueprint Design, 7 years ago in 2019. And yeah, with that, it's over 20 years already of experience, which is kind of crazy. So I'm going to just go through a few slides for about 15 minutes, and then we're going to jump into KDP to go through the upload. So how to prepare for uploading. First of all, you need the right files. This is really important that you have the right cover file and the right interior files. For the cover file, you will need what's called a spread file. So the front cover, spine, and the back cover, they're all one file. It's all in one, yeah, it's all one page basically. And then it's a spread. And then for the interior, for the manuscript files, you will need not a spread. You don't want those in spreads. You want single pages, but everything in one PDF or one document. And one of my tips is ideally you would want PDF files, but you also would want them saved as high resolution files. Yes, Amazon allows for other files to be uploaded as well, like even Word documents, but I always recommend PDF files to avoid as many errors as possible. So you know exactly what you know what you're expecting it to look like, and it will actually look like that as well if the specifications are the right ones. So here we're going to jump right into the full cover. This is a screenshot of the calculator tool that KDP provides, and I say definitely take advantage of that. And that's something I do for my authors. Anyone that works with me, they don't have to worry about any of these things. Like I will just do all those things. So I will gather all the information that we have already about your book because now we've completed all the designs. Now we're just ready to upload. So to use the calculator, we need to know, is it a paperback or hardcover? So what type of binding is it? Is there black and white on the inside only, like grayscale, or is it a color? Is there color on the inside? What paper type? Do you use cream paper or white paper? And then, of course, we will need to know the trim size of your book and the page count. And then KDP does the rest for you. You calculate the dimensions and then you download the template. I highly, highly recommend it. It's something everyone should use when they upload or are preparing for uploading on Amazon because every printer has their own specifications. So even if I work with an offset printer or I work with Ingram Spark or any other printer, I always ask like what like, do you have a template or what tell me what my spine size should be because every printer uses different papers. So we can't predict that, oh, they're working with this type of paper on this company. So you have to ask those questions. Otherwise, your template, your specifications will not be correct to what they need. And so, for example, just a small example, white paper and cream paper, if you change that toggle, you will see that the spine actually gets larger because cream paper is a little bit thicker, it's a little bit toothier. So that alone, just with KDP, you will have a different outcome. So you always want to know what the size is of your spine. That's very, very important for creating cover files. And then here is just like what the template looks like once you download it. And this one is for a, oops, how did I go back? This one is for a 5.5 by 8.5 book, and it has 255 pages of white paper and grayscale on the inside. And here you can also see the barcode location. And this is important too. So if you're not using your own barcode and you're using KDP's barcode, which is totally fine, you can still use your own ISBN number. They will generate the barcode for you, but they're placing it right there in that location. So you want to make sure that there's nothing important in that area. And that's something when you work with me, I just make sure it's not there, or we'll have our own barcode and place it somewhere else. Um, and then here's an example that I want to use. That's one of my books that I publish every year. It's a social media content planner. And you will see this is the cover file on the right side. I think we're all seeing it on the right side is the front cover. On the left side is the back cover. And then in between is the spine. And here's a little overlay. So I also asked for the template. And you can see the template in the background now, how the spine is aligned exactly with the 2026. And then the content on the front cover and back cover page is in the center of each cover. So this is all about the cover files right now. And now we're going to jump into the interior files. So what's really important is to make sure that you know your trim size, or that, yeah, you know your trim size, your bleeds and margins, and that they're all aligned with the KDP specifications. Well, you don't need to know them. You just need to make sure they're aligned. So what is a trim size? A trim size is the actual physical size of your book. So like a 6 by 9, 5.5 by 8.5, 8.5 by 11, that's your trim size, what you want it to end up looking like. And then the bleeds, they're super, super important. They are any backgrounds or images that you want to reach the edge of the page. You have to make sure that you're actually extending them or have more beyond your page. So that's beyond the margins, or like, yeah, beyond the page, basically. It needs to be at least 0.125 inches, and it only needs to be on the outside edges of your pages, never on the inside. Because of how they're printing everything and how the pages are cut. So you just need bleed on the outside. That's really important. And that's something I sometimes see where as someone tries to do it themselves and then they have bleed on the inside as well. Not all programs give you the choice or the chance to do that. So you want to make sure you have that option. And that's something, again, I do for my authors. If you're working with me, you don't have to worry about that. And then we come to the margins, and I actually am going to have a better slide here. Let me get to it. Here we go. So this is just an image I grabbed from my Instagram. It's really far down on my Instagram. I posted this a long time ago, but it really explains the margins really nicely. So you want to make sure that you use the specifications that, in this case, Amazon KDP has for your minimum outside margins. And then for your inside margins and the top and bottom margins as well. They actually list them on their website, so I would always recommend checking there. What's really important is that the inside margins are not too small, because they will not print your book if they're too small. Same with the outside margins, but the insides are really, really important. And here are just some of their minimum margins. So KDP actually just requires 0.25 around the outside of your text, let's say. And that's really, really small. I actually always go a lot bigger, at least zero point 0.5 or 0.75 even. And for the inside, so when I say inside, I mean the spine gutter area between where the two pages come together. There, it's really dependent on the page count. So if you know before you create your book that you're going to have 400, 500 pages or even larger of a book, you want to make sure you have enough space on the inside, because A, they won't print it, and B, you don't want your book to like that you have to like push it apart to even read the insides. So that's really, really important before you even start your file preparation for the inside, that you are aware what those minimum inside margins are. And here's just an example of a bleed. On the left side, you will see you're seeing an inside page of my social media planner, and on the top, you can see that the box behind January goes all the way up to the page, and I want it to be that way when it's printed. So on the right side, that's the file I actually submitted. It has bleeds on the top, left, and bottom. So even if on the left side and the bottom, because this is a left side page, and that's why we're focusing on that side. Even though there's nothing extending to the edges there, we still have to send in a file for every single page of the entire document with bleed around the entire three outside sides. Okay, that sounds a little weird. Um, all right, moving on. Here is another tip. What's really important is that your interior file, that you count all of the pages. So before you upload or before you get your cover template, you want to make sure you're aware of all of your pages. So all your front cover pages, front matter, back matter, any blank pages, it all is part of your page count. It's not just by what is the last numbered page in your document. So that's really important that you truly have the final page count. And I always use Adobe Acrobat to open my PDFs, and then I actually see the actual page count of my interior. I need a sip of water real quick. But no, this is important. So don't just get great files. Like it's good if you have a really, really good designer that can help you, but make sure that you're getting the right files when you're working with someone. And if for some reason, things happen, if something goes wrong, that you can also talk to them again. Hey, in total, everything would seem fine, but there's this little thing that KDP is pointing out right now. Can you help me with that? So make sure that once you have your files, that you still have that line of communication with them. And now I am going to take a sip of water. All right, so here's the information to gather. Well, first of all, you want to make sure you create your KDP account before you upload and prepare yourself for the upload. When I work with my authors, I have a PDF, a fillable PDF that I sent them, so we can prepare for the upload, where they fill in all the things we need, like the listing, book title, subtitle, the author's name, description, keywords, categories, the size of the book, the page count, paper choices. It's like all the things. And it really helps to prepare yourself for uploading ahead of time, so that when you get to uploading, that you're not stuck like, oh, I didn't know I had to get this, or I don't know what category to pick. And so it really helps, like, and you don't need a fancy PDF or whatever. You can just do it in a Word document. That's totally fine, or wherever you write your notes, even on a piece of paper. That's totally okay. But I always recommend having all that information so that the upload goes smoothly and you're not stuck at any point. Um, and here are some helpful tools that I use when I work with my authors to determine the categories. I use Publisher Rocket. Really, really love using Publisher Rocket. And I took another screenshot how it works. So in this screenshot on the right, you get a little bit of a view into it, where you can just type out whatever word comes to mind that describes your book. So in my case, for my social media planner, if I type in social media, I have another screenshot. It would then show me in what sub category I should put my book to rank number one in that category. And that's something that's really important to a lot of authors. Like, we want to have that little sign that says number one in this category. So that's how we find the best categories. And we want to make sure they're still applicable. We don't want to just pick one where we only need one book sale to rank number one, and then it has nothing to do with our book. So we still want to make sure we pick something that's applicable. So what you can see here is that if I was going to choose web browsers as my sub category under computer technology, then I would need 11 books sold on any given day to make it to a number one spot, or only one book to make it into the top 10. And this is really important because when you get into the uploading area, you can just pick random categories. It's totally fine. And you can always change them. This is the beauty of Amazon. You can change your categories at any time. And but you won't know when you pick those categories while you upload how good are these categories. Like there are categories, especially for fiction books, that will have or need 3 or 4 thousand sales on any given day to get to a number one spot. So they're very, very popular categories. So you kind of want to get at least an idea, and this varies all the time. So uh, I would just prepare myself for that. And then another really helpful tool is Boker. This is where you buy your ISBN numbers. This is the only place in the US to buy your ISBN numbers and make sure they're fully yours. There are so many other spam websites out there that will sell you discounts and deals, but then they did the same thing, went to Boker, bought the 1000 pack or something, and then they're just selling those in pieces. So it's really important that you create your own Boker account. And again, this is something I walk my authors through all of this so that they have all the right things before we upload. You can buy a just one ISBN number, and that costs $125. And you can use it for whenever you're ready because ISBNs never expire. But because you need a new ISBN number for every single format, so like your paperback will need a different ISBN number than your hardcover book. Ebooks, they're not required to have ISBN numbers, but you can also use them for that. But because ISBNs never expire, you can also buy the 10 packs, the 100 packs, whatever you think works for you, however many books you're thinking of creating. Because so one ISBN is 125 and 10 is 295. So you can see that's like a lot more feasible already. And because they never expire, it makes a lot of sense. And something to note is that you do not need to buy a barcode. KDP and Ingham Spark will automatically create a barcode for you, so don't spend any money on buying a barcode. You just need your list of ISBN numbers. And another tip that I always tell my authors when I go through this with them is I always suggest just buy your numbers and don't assign your numbers to your books yet. Because once you assign them and then you upload to KDP, sometimes it will say the ISBN number is already in use. And we don't want to get into that kind of situation. And it makes it harder to then finish the uploading process. So I always say, just get your list of ISBN numbers, put them inside your book on your copyrights page. It will be in the barcode, and then upload to KDP, Amazon KDP, or Ingham Spark, wherever. And then after you've uploaded everything and scheduled or published your book, then I would go back to Boker and actually assign the individual ISBN numbers in there. And then a really, really helpful tool are the KDP help pages. I think wait, did I forget something? I forgot to mention something somewhere here. Yeah, okay. Well, I just wanted to mention that Publisher Rocket, they also have a really good newsletter. This is a paid software. It costs like about 100, or I don't really know right now how much they charge for these days. It does cost money. If you're working with me, you don't have to pay for that. I will just share my screen with you. But I just want to mention they have a really cool newsletter as well. Lots of good information. And the KDP help pages, there's so much on there. I mean, there's really everything on there. If you have any questions, really, really good things on there. And I use the calculator and then the cover template a lot. And the last thing I want to go over before we go into the actual upload is just the calculator tool, because that's also super, super helpful. On the right side here, you can see how you select what kind of book you have, the size of your book, the page count, and then you can type in your list price. So here's an example of what that looks like when you fill it all out. So for my social media planner, it's an 8 by 10. any book that's larger than 6 by 9 usually has different minimum list prices and different rates because they call them the large format books. So it's always a little bit more expensive. So here's just an example. If I was going to list my book for $12.99, the minimum list price is $9.99 in the US, and the printing cost for that book is $5.15. And then the estimate royalty would be $2.65 for every book I sell. So just a little bit of an overview. And this tool really helps you to see like, okay, well, what would I make if I charge $14.99 or $22 or whatever it is? So you can like kind of play around with that. But that's something I also do for my authors so they don't even have to worry about that. And I just tell them what their book would um, pay them back for every book sold for whatever listing price they decide to go with. Do we have any questions so far? Okay, cool. So yeah, before I get out of my slide, I just want to say thank you real quick already for listening. And you can find me on Instagram or on my website, creativeblueprintdesign.com. All right, I'm going to get out of this, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see if we can end this one here.
It does look like there's one question in the chat that I missed. Erin asked, do you get the ISBN number if we work with you, or are we responsible to acquire that?
That's a really good question. So I actually like happy to buy ISBN numbers for you, but I think because I'm not a publisher and like if I always believe that I want you to have control of all of your things. So like I always say have your own KDP account, have your own broker account, buy your own ISBN numbers so that you are the publisher of your book while you self-publish, especially when you're working with me because I'm not a publisher and I'm not going to have it in my KDP account and then send you royalties every couple months or something like that. Like, I think it's best that you are totally in charge. Like, you will get your direct deposits from KDP and the same for your ISBN number. That way, there's no attachment to someone else and it's fully yours. That's what I believe is best for self-publishing authors in the long run. Great question. Um, all right. Any, do you, oh, I'm not sharing my screen anymore, right? Okay, I will.
Um, I have a question. I'm so sorry. I did not realize that I was not on mute with my dog barking. But my question is, and then I'll go on mute. Um, at what time in the writing, if we're working on a manuscript, just a novel, at what stage in writing should I begin connecting with you and start having these conversations about securing my vendors for self-publishing, designer, a mentor, etc.?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I it's interesting. People come at any point in the process to me. Some have already, some haven't even started writing their full book, and they're already talking to me, and I kind of help them like, okay, you need to talk to an editor first, and then we can start working on things. And then okay, I kind of lost my train of thought here for a second. But okay, where should we start talking? So basically, you can come to me at any point. So even if you have your manuscript completely finished already, that's totally okay. You're not too late yet, to start on the design. It's always good to start as early as possible, to start like putting your ducks in a row, like, check out all the cover designers, like what they charge and all those things. So for me, what makes working with me easy is that I can do all those things. Like you just have an editor and then you have me to help you with the design of your book and then publishing it online. And if you're not fully there yet where we can start with a cover design, then I will tell you, talk to an editor, but then come back to me and we'll finish the rest. And the title, the cover design, we can really work on that as soon as your title is fully in place. Like once you know this is my title of my book, it's not changing, we can already start working on the cover design, which helps authors sometimes once they see that front cover, it gets them excited and then they're like, okay, now I know how to finish my book. I've actually just had this with one of my authors. So yeah.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Do you do formatting?
Yes. Okay. Formatting, do you mean the editing or do you mean the layout, the interior layout of the book?
I mean, this is my third book. I
Mhm.
have an editor who edits, but eventually it has to be formatted
Yes.
and all those technical things put in there.
Yeah.
Uh, so you do that, correct?
Yes, I do that. I love doing this. The formatting is something I really enjoy. Yes.
So my first two books, I worked through BookBaby, who published it, but they're sort of a middleman
Hmm.
uh, or middlewoman, whatever you want to call it. But if I go to this time through KDP, because I'm not into computers that much, and I have a problem, does Amazon have a phone number for troubleshooting if I'm
Yes.
working, you know?
Yes, that's a really good question. And I can show you once we're in the live demonstration, I can show you how to get to someone really fast. So when you have an Amazon KDP account, on the top right, there's the help area. You click on that, you scroll all the way to the left, on the left side down, there's a contact us button. You click that, pick whatever subject you want. Doesn't even matter. Just click one until you can scroll again to the bottom, and there's another call me button. And that button is so cool. They have, once you're logged into your KDP account, they actually have your phone number. So they will call you back. They call me back usually within in a minute, or like no more than 5 minutes. That's how fast KDP's customer service is, and they are amazing. You can also talk on a chat with them sometimes. So love, love, love KDP customer service. They're absolutely amazing, very easy to get to. So yeah.
So if I give you a completed edited manuscript
Mhm.
and I give you the blurb and so forth and so on, and photos, the cover photo, I mean the whole package, you basically can run with the formatting and get it all ready to push the buttons to Amazon, correct?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
assume that's what you do, you know.
Yeah, I just push a few buttons and everything is online. No, I'm just being silly. No, absolutely. That's what I do. I do help with the interior formatting to make sure everything looks good. And I will always show you as we go what that looks like. You will get PDFs from me. You will see exactly what's on the left and right side of your book. And yeah, I love working with authors on that part as well.
I've been talking with ebook launch and they do all that too, but
Mhm.
I don't know,
It's
they're sort of out there in space somewhere. I never know who I'm talking with.
I know, and that's something I just had an author recently who he signed up with another company and then he desperately tried to get out of that contract because he never knew who he was talking to. It was always middlemen. He didn't know when he was actually getting his royalties. And like I also noticed that they charged a lot for author copies, the your own book prints, instead of, when you have your own KDP account, they're so cheap, and some of these companies they charge a lot of money, and that's often how they make money is through the author copies. So I can't fault them for doing that. It's just, there's other options. Yeah.
Do you do cover design?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Because
Yeah.
my first two books, I worked with cover designer formatter. She was in Palm Springs and did a great job, but she decided to hang it up. She was affected by the fires here
Yeah.
and just couldn't handle everything. So
Yeah.
anyway, we'll be talking.
Awesome. Thank you. Now, and what kind of books do you have?
Pardon me?
What kind of books, what genres do you
Well,
publish?
this one I'm doing historical fiction.
Very cool.
Not,
Very cool. Well, thank you for your questions, Ed. Thank you. I'm be very happy to talk to you more. Um, all right. Brooke, any more questions before I share my screen? You muted. I can.
Sorry. Aaron asked if you, with all your expertise, do you help with titling books? And I have a feeling she's asking kind of about like some marketability insight.
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. I always think an editor would be the better person for that. I would be happy to help, especially when it comes to maybe a specific words and how it could look on the cover design, like if we want something shorter and it just doesn't work right. And we can make little tweaks to it, like certain words can be massaged a little bit. But when it comes to capturing the content of your book, because I don't read the books, I think it's better to talk to your editor because they know your book so much better than I would know by reading a blurb or hearing a little bit about it. But I can always help with like small things, but I wouldn't be the best person to determine your title. Yeah, that's how I put that. All right. Any
I don't see
more?
any other questions if you want to start
Well, I
your
have a question
second part.
as long as you're talking. A QR code. How important are QR codes?
It depends. QR codes are fun because when you have a printed product like your book and you want someone to go to your website or you want them to buy a t-shirt or something, whatever it is, or your Amazon link, it's nice to have that to transition from print to, because everyone has a phone in their hand these days, to, they will just click over it and then it will go there. So that's really nice. QR codes can come in very handy for that. Just make sure that you get a QR code that never expires because I myself have used QR codes that expired on things made flyers for myself or something. And then I'm like, oh no, a week later they weren't scannable anymore.
Do you update websites? In other words, if I'm adding another book to my website, my first two books are already on there. Uh,
Yeah.
can you take my website and just add the third book?
I have done this for some clients I've worked with. It's not something I do every day. I can probably help or give some advice, but it's not what I focus on every day. So, like, yeah, I can help with it. It's just not what I do a lot of. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you for asking that.
Hi, this is Kathleen. Hi, Susie.
Hey.
So I just wanted to provide a little bit of a testimonial of working with Susie. So I was one of those authors that contacted Susie when I wasn't even done with the first draft of my book. And I decided I wanted to self-publish. I decided I wanted to write a book, and I felt very lost. And I just really wanted to provide a positive testimonial and say that I really enjoyed looking at Susie's website and her Instagram. There's a lot of really helpful posts on there. And I really enjoyed when I had a question and I felt very lost and I emailed her. So, one of the great things about working with Susie is that I feel like she's an expert and I feel like I am not an expert. And so it's just really nice having somebody that's really friendly and easy to communicate with that has this expertise. And if you have a question that doesn't even relate to one of her services, she has a network of professionals that she's worked with. And I just wanted to provide that positive experience with anybody that's possibly thinking about working with her.
Oh, thank you. That is so super sweet of you. I didn't expect that at all, and I was actually really happy just to see your name pop up when I saw who's in the room. Thank you so much. Oh, wow, that's really kind. I'm very excited to work on your ebook soon. That's really fun. Oh man, I wasn't prepared for that. That's really nice. Thank you. Okay, should I go into the demonstration? Okay, let's do it. All right. I'm just so happy right now. That was really sweet. All right, let's see. Can everyone, okay, where, I don't know. Can you guys see my screen, my window? Okay, I'm gonna move it actually over to a different page. Okay, can you still see it? Yeah, I think now okay, I can see it. Okay, cool. All right, so here we are in my KDP account, and that's my social media planner. And we're actually going to use that to upload. And I'll show you how, Ed, for you right now. When you log into your KDP account, the help area is right up here on the top right here. And that's where you click to find help. Actually, I'll just do it real quick. It doesn't take long. So you click on the help button, then you scroll all the way to the left side, click on contact us, and then the design changes a little bit and I have to sign in and out. Okay. Oh, the fun. Okay, okay. This was a little faster than I wanted it to. Okay, so then you just pick whatever area you need help with, and then still need help, contact us. And then this call us button actually makes them call you. So once you click that, I think it shows your phone number, I don't want yeah, it shows you, oh, I don't want to show my phone number. It shows your phone number and then they will call you very fast. All right, let's get back out of that. No. All right, so here we go. Let's upload. So you're ready with your files, you have everything ready. So now you click on this big yellow button up here. And we're uploading a paperback right now, so we're going to click on Create Paperback. And then so I have my PDF that I filled out, in preparation for uploading. So I'm going to copy and paste from that PDF as we go, so I'm not typing to make it go a little faster. So in this case, my book title is my 2026 goal meeting, and then I have a subtitle. And Brooke, how much time do we have?
18 minutes.
Okay, I'll try to make it. If I talk too fast and my German accent gets in the way, I'm really sorry.
I mean, if you go later, I have nowhere to go, so I can keep the Zoom room open.
Okay.
So you can finish up and people can always catch the recording if they have to go.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I do have more time as well if needed. Okay, so we have the book title, the subtitle. If your book is part of a series, this is where you add that information and your edition number, if it's a second edition or so. Then you want to put the primary author information. So I'm going to put creative. I always put Blueprint as a middle name, but you would put your actual author's name there. And it has to be the same as what is on the cover. This is really important that whatever you put here needs to be on the front cover. Otherwise, they will reject the uploading process. Like they will not actually post it until that is aligned. So the title and the author's name, they have to match your front cover. Really, really important. This is also something you will not be able to change once you hit the publishing button. You can't change your title. So make sure there's no typo in there. That's another reason why I have my authors, we go through this form multiple times to make sure there's no typos, because I will be copying and pasting when I put everything in, and I don't want to make that mistake for them. So your author's name, contributors, if you have any illustrators you want to add, you can add all kinds of people. You can add a long list up to 9 contributors. Just know if you add a contributor, I can't say that word right. That sounds funny when I say it. Their name will pop up next to the book's title, almost as big, I think the same size as your author's name. So just keep that in mind. Like if you really, really want to add them, I know everyone wants to be super sweet, but you don't have to do that. So, all right, next thing now, I'm going to copy the description. Is that the description? Yeah, it's the description. That's part of it. And then, yes, I own the copyrights to my book, and it's not public domain. Sexually explicit images, no. If you do have a spicy romance or something, or something that's very graphic, and you do have that, click yes. But if you just have a few curse words here and there throughout your book, don't worry about it, because what happens is as soon as you click yes, your book won't be searchable on Amazon. So make sure that you read into what that really means before you just click that button. It's very important. If you have a children's book, select the age range. Don't select that if it's not a children's book, because again, that kind of changes how your book is found. The primary marketplace, everyone in the US, it would be .com. If you're publishing a book for someone else, or you are in Great Britain or Germany or France, pick the primary marketplace. That doesn't mean that your book doesn't publish worldwide. It just means that's what it's mainly. All the numbers, all your listing prices and all that as you upload will be set to .com and US dollars. And now comes the fun category choices. So in my case, I am just going to scroll to my document here real quick. And I'm only going to put one in because, and you can put up to 3. So I'm going into business and money, then developmental and entrepreneurship, small business, because that's who my social media planner is for, and self-employment. And you can do, and that's now the sub category. And as you can see, you don't see how well that will be ranked once it's actually on Amazon. So that's why I use Publisher Rocket. And you can add up to 3 categories. I'm just going to do one right now. Because my social media planner is a low content book, it's a planner, I have to check this here. But right now, I'm not going to check it because I want to show you something when it comes to the ISBN numbers. And then I can add all my keywords. You don't want to add keywords that are already in your title. So planner wouldn't be a good word for me. You want to pick something that's different because your planner is already part of your SEO. So goal setting would be a nice word for me, or strategy, or journal, or calendar, authors, something like that will be good keywords for me in this case. Something that's not mentioned in the description or the book title. So it just gives you another opportunity to add more SEO to help people find your book on Amazon. But just a quick side note, it's really about your marketing that drives people to your book. It's not so much about being super great about all these things, but you can always change it. So the description, you can change it anytime. The categories you can switch, the keywords you can switch. So that's not set in stone like your title or author's name. And then the publication date, you can choose to release the book right away. And that means that as soon as Amazon has finished their process of reviewing your files and everything, your book will be available. What I've noticed is when I pick that and I press the publishing button at the end, and it's on today's date, the 27th of March, that usually ends up being my publishing date, even if it takes a couple more days to actually publish the book and go through the process. And then you can also schedule your book release now. That's new. Well, it's a couple years already, or a year, a little bit, 2 years that you can schedule it. And you can pick something up to 3 months in advance. With a printed book, you will not have pre-orders. So your Amazon link will not show up until that day that you're choosing. So if you pick April 20th as your publishing date, you won't see it on Amazon until that day, but KDP is extremely reliable. It will show up on that date. A little bit different there too. Ingham Spark, they have other obstacles. But yeah, so right now we're just gonna do release my book right now, and I'm going to save and continue. And now we get to the second panel. So up here, I always call these things panels: the paperback details, the paperback content, and then the rights. So the reason why I didn't click the low content book checkbox yet is I wanted to show you this area. So if you have a regular novel or a regular book, you can then either get a free KDP ISBN number and they will assign you one. And that's totally okay to use a free one. If you only ever think of publishing one book and it's only ever going to live on Amazon, use the free one. It's totally okay. If you plan on having it in other places like Ingham Spark, you also want to publish through them or through other publishing on demand platforms, you want to use your own ISBN because you cannot take Amazon's free ISBN onto Ingram Spark or other platforms. That's not okay. So if you have your own ISBN number, you click here and then you add your ISBN number and your imprint name. For most authors, that's the actual author's name. If you're working with a publishing company or you created your own imprint name, that's where you put that. But you have to make sure when you go into Boker, and I know this is so much information, like there's just so much. Don't worry about knowing everything. You can always ask me or like, look through the help pages for more information. So when you register your ISBN number through Boker, you determine or you say right in there what your imprint name, your publisher name is. And you want to make sure you use exactly that here, because if if there's a typo, it won't go through here. I've definitely had that with previous authors. So make sure you know what that is. And that's what will show up on your Amazon. So I'm just gonna go over real quick. Here's another book. So under your product details, it will show up right here as the publisher. That's what that imprint name is, your publisher. So a lot of authors just put their own name there. That's totally okay. But because this is a low content book, I actually have to go back to the paperback details and select low content book. Because if I don't do that, my book will not go smoothly through the processing for Amazon. So right here, I'm going to click low content book and save and continue. And now you will, nope, shoot, because okay, demonstration failed. No, okay, let's go back here. Save and continue. Okay, let's see if it works now. Low content book. Yeah. Okay, so now we have this option, published without an ISBN number. And because there's so many low content books on Amazon that they decided a couple years ago we're not giving them all an ISBN number. It just it didn't make any sense. And you can still add your own ISBN number, but all those low content books will be published without ISBN numbers. So if you don't click that little box and you push your book through publishing processing, they will flag that and then just tell you to uncheck that. All right, so I'm gonna go a little faster. So we have black and white interior for the paper. In my case, if you have cream paper, you get this little cute little preview here. But we have white paper. If you have color, the premium color is really the best color option if you have a children's book or if you have photographs that are really important to your book's contents and you want the colors to show nicely, pick the premium. It's really expensive to print, but it really makes a huge difference over the standard color. This is more for nonfiction books if you have highlights or some small color areas here and there. But just know anytime you pick something that's not just grayscale on the inside, your margins of royalties to print price will change a lot. My book right now is 8 by 10. I do have bleeds as we saw, and I want a glossy cover. And now I'm going to grab my files. Oh boy. All right, we have them under presentations, and here we go. I need the interior file, so I'm just going to open that. And this part takes a little bit, but hopefully it will go fast. And then so I'm not going to use Amazon's cover creator tool. I have already my cover prepared, and my cover does not have a barcode on it already. So I will not click this, and KDP will create a barcode for me. So now I'm going to upload my cover file. Nope, this one here. And it will upload the cover file. Okay, and then I did not use any AI generated content. It's not a big deal if you do. They will just ask like, what tools did you use? They're using it mostly for research. And I'm going to launch the preview right now because you can't get to the next panel if you don't do that. But yeah, don't worry about the AI generated content. But if it's just to help you with a little bit of grammar, you don't have to pick that. That's really just if, like for assistance, you don't have to pick it. It's really just if you truly just use that. Okay, so now everything looks fantastic. The quality check has no error messages. So I can now look at my whole book. This is what it looks like, and everything looks good. I'm going to exit, and I will quickly show you what that looks like if I don't have the right files. So let's upload a cover file that is not the right file. Like this one, totally different dimensions, and the preview will then show that that's not correct. Back in the day, this used to take forever. It would literally say, go get a coffee. It's actually been going a lot faster, but it still depends on the book, how fast we get through it. and now we have to launch a preview again. And yeah, in this area, it used to say, go get a coffee. Hopefully it'll be fast. I might drink some water in the meantime. Okay, this didn't take this long when I tried it before. And one thing when you, okay, here we go. Okay, so now it's flagging the cover. You can already see there's an error. It doesn't really extend. If your cover is almost there, they might actually stretch it. So you want to be careful with that as well. But if it's clearly not the right size, they will let you know, and then you have to fix it before you can go to the next step. So we're going to go real quick back to the actual, hopefully it'll go fast. And I'm sorry if for running over a little bit, but those were some really good questions. Okay, what is happening now? Yeah, so sometimes you have to tell KDP twice. What's nice is, no, I don't want to talk about that yet. It's just processing. I'm throwing a lot of different files at it at once here. Okay. Let's see what it tells us. If not, okay, I think it should be pretty fast if the right cover is loading. If not, we'll try to go to the next step, the pricing area. But usually you have to upload something first before you can get there. All right, I think it will be fast. All right, cool. Everything looks great again. We approve. This is what they've been waiting for, that we click the yellow button here on the bottom and approve, because now it will show us our printing cost. So it's $5.15 to print a book, and that's also the price of your author copies. You always have to pay shipping for author copies. You can't use Prime, but it's a really good price. And this is a big book. It's 244 pages at a larger scale size, the 8x10. So it's a really good price. I'm going to go to the pricing section now, and you will see how the design of their page has changed. It's really funny. It's only for print books right now that they've changed the design, but you are still in the right area. So it just looks totally different now. I don't like it, but that's okay. I'm not the design. So in this area, you want to always check this unless you really just wanted to publish in one country or territory area. So you want to publish your book worldwide. It already pre-selected .com as my marketplace. And then here you type in your print price. So if my book costs $12.99, then what's going on? Why is it taking so long here? Normally, okay, I just make it a different price. Yeah, okay, it's working now. I don't know why it's okay. So here, maybe I just didn't see it. Maybe I'm blind, but it will show your royalty right there. So as you're adjusting the price, the royalty will adjust, and so will the prices for all the other countries as well. You can manually overwrite all of these, but once you overwrite these, then it won't change automatically anymore for all the others. So that's why you also pick your primary marketplace, and everything else will adjust automatically. So at this point, you can request a proof copy. If you press the publishing button down here, you can't request a proof copy anymore. A proof copy means an actual physical book printed to your house. It usually arrives within a couple of days in the US, and it has a banner over the front cover that says not for resale or something like that. But it comes so fast that it's really nice to check that before you actually publish your book or go further in the publishing process. But yeah, once you press this button here, which I'm not going to press right now because my book is already published, but that's when you can then down the road request author copies, not proofs anymore, but you can always do that as well, and then just go through the process again, because at any point can you change your files. That's totally okay. You can't, if there's a page count shift, you can't do that anymore. But as long as you just have small edits and you're just like, oh no, I missed this period. How did I not see that? That's totally okay. You can always go back in and make that change. And to add an ebook is super easy. You just then click the ebook. Ebooks have different categories than paperbacks, so you'll have to add new categories or similar ones. And then the same with the hardcover, but it gives you really quick tools to add those in addition. Yeah, I think I'm actually kind of done right now, unless that someone has questions.
Nope, I thought we had a question, but it was just Ed telling us that he had to hop off. Does anyone else have any questions? This has been super informational and helpful.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so I think there was something else I was going to say. No, I think that's yeah. And if you want to know like where to add your author bio, you would go under the marketing tab, so that it then shows under your book listing. You just go to marketing, and then right here under Author Central, you would click .com for the US, and then you would create your author page. Or if you want to run any ebook promotions, you do it in this area right here. There's lots of guidelines and rules for all that, but just to show you, or if your ebook is enrolled in KDP Select, which I always recommend, you can always re-enroll it or unenroll it if you change your mind and you do want to have your ebook in other places. So this is where you would go to do that. Yeah, I think we're kind of done. We've made it.
Great. So great. And do you want to put your contact information? I know that you displayed it earlier. Do you want to display it one more time, or we can drop
Yeah,
it in the chat just in case anybody gets off the call and is like, oh, I actually did have a question or want to get a hold of Susie for next steps on my book. There we go.
happy to.
Yeah. Give everyone a minute to screenshot that if they would like it.
Continue.
Otherwise, this has been excellent, super informative. I really appreciate you, Susie, for coming to do these sessions. I hope you continue to do them for us because we learn so much, and I love having these videos as a resource when people ask me questions on the self-publishing journey, because you are so much more of an expert in this than I ever will be.
Oh, thank
So
you.
I
No,
really, really appreciate you lending us your brain.
I love coming on here. It's like it's such a great opportunity for me and to just like share what I know and also like practice these things. Even though
Yeah.
I've been in the industry for so long, that doesn't mean I've talked to other people much about this, you know.
Well, and all of this technology is constantly changing on top of a market that's always evolving and trends and all kinds of things. So it's good to for us, even if we think we know these things, to continue coming to these sessions and learning more from people that are doing this every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really appreciate you. If nobody has any other questions, we can all hop off and take back the rest of our Friday. Um,
Yeah, no, thank you so much. Like this was awesome. And I know it's a lot. So if anyone has any questions, just email me, reach out to me on email, Instagram, website, wherever you want to reach out to me. And I can always help you. And I also, even though I have these like full packages of like cover design, interior, and self-publishing, if someone is already like, okay, I've made it through all the stages and I'm now in KDP and I don't know how to, what to do
yeah.
here. What does this DRM button mean in the ebook part of things? Just email me and I can also work hourly at any point. I can really just jump in because it just happens. Like, and I think it's amazing when people can do these things themselves because there's so much. And on the
Yeah.
other hand, I'm always happy to help. Like, I love doing this. Truly love doing this.
Love it. Well, we love having you. Thank you so much. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your Friday and weekend. And I will see you guys at the next Swarm session. Should be writing sprints next week. I didn't host any writing sprints this week because, as you can hear, I have kids home for spring break. So next week I will have a much more organized brain in life. And I hope to see you guys then. And until then, yeah, have a great weekend.
Bye. Thank you.